Here we go again, everybody. The Xbox haters, they're out in drove. But not just the Xbox haters, even Xbox fans themselves over in the Twitter sphere in particular. Xbox journalists or journalists that cover Xbox all the time. It amazes me how wildly misinformed everyone is. Here's the thing. You're not misinformed. You want to know why? Because you follow this channel. And we apply logic and reason, and we're paying attention. I am flabbergasted by journalists who just don't seem to be Xbox journalists who just don't seem to be paying attention. And maybe it's not that they're not paying attention, but it's that they don't understand business strategy. I genuinely don't get it. So Xbox just made this huge move, an announcement. It turns out the rumors are true. Indiana Jones is a timed exclusive. It's coming on Xbox. It's dropping in the spring 2025. We're going to go over that today. And it's pretty much divided once again, the Xbox sphere. You have some people saying, I'm never, that's it. I'm done. I'm fried. I'm not. Phil Spencer lied to me. He didn't lie to you. He did not lie to you. We're going to go over that. I think if you're an Xbox gamer, you need to watch this video. If you're watching this video and you have friends who are under this, you need to share this video with them. Because is Indiana Jones timed exclusivity a masterstroke for Game Pass, or is Xbox shooting itself in the foot as others would claim? We're going to dive into that today. And we're going to dive into why I think this controversial decision might be the smartest play Xbox has made. It makes total sense. We covered a little bit why that makes sense last time. Here's the thing. You could summarize it this way. If timed exclusives worked for the PlayStation, why would they not work for Xbox? And on top of that, there's more long-term value because on a console, on a console, something that's in front of you, once you lose that exclusivity and your game becomes available elsewhere, there is legitimately no reason for me to go buy your console, except during that timed exclusive period to try to get people within that timed exclusive as quickly as possible. But on Game Pass, it's even more valuable. Timed exclusives become more valuable even after they leave. Why, do you say? Because when a game on Game Pass, it's timed exclusive for now. Let's take Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is dropping this winter, rather. And then next spring, it drops on PlayStation 5. So you have the benefit of timed exclusivity. Hey, jump into Game Pass and play it now first, or you can wait for it on PlayStation. But then even when it drops on PlayStation, you're paying $70 for it there. So you're still reiterating the value of Game Pass. It works better than than timed exclusives do with traditional consoles. It's a marketing strategy. And I think it's a smart marketing strategy, and it doesn't change Xbox, and Phil Spencer did not lie to you, and we're going to go over all of it today. Before we do, I would love to know just right off the bat what you guys think. I may be wrong here. I fully admit. Xbox is charting new territory, and maybe they're wrong. They're not. I don't think they are. I think you can see the logic. You can see where the technology is going. The entire industry is changing here. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, hit that like button and subscribe to us. We drop videos right here all the time. We try to have interesting discussions, particularly surrounding Xbox, but as gaming as a whole. We also do have a community Discord. Comment will be pinned in the replies. It's also in the description. So come and join us there. So let's go over this news story at The Verge, and then I want to review. First of all, did Phil Spencer lie to you? That's the claim, and he didn't. We'll go over that. And number two, why this makes sense. I wrote down 5 reasons this makes sense, but there may be more, actually. We'll see if we can come up with some more. But let's jump into this. So here's from The Verge, which, by the way, I have to say, those who cover Xbox and are journalists have consistently let me down. And I'm not going to name names, but basically everyone. With the exception, there is one exception. And that man's name is Tom Warren. And I have to give mad props to Tom Warren. Tom Warren does stay above the fray. He is over on Twitter, but I have not seen him fall into this trap. I have seen many others. The other one that I think has done a pretty good job is Ryan McCaffrey. But Tom Warren by far has been the most level-headed. He's been the most logical. He's been the most sound. And he's been the most, maybe objective isn't a word because I think we all have biases, but he's not masking his biases. And so he's been the most honest. That's the word I'm looking for, I think, when it comes to reporting on this stuff. And he's the one that wrote this. So Microsoft confirms Indiana Jones is coming to PS5 after its Xbox debut. Another Xbox exclusive is coming to PS5 in 2025. The confirmation comes months after The Verge exclusively revealed Microsoft was considering launching Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on PS5. I wrote in February that Bethesda's Indiana Jones game would have a rather short period of exclusivity, with Bethesda considering a PS5 launch months after the December 2024 launch on Xbox and PC. We covered that here. If you've been paying attention, this, combined with the recent rumors that this was going to be what was announced at Gamescom, it's not new to you. This is not new news, but everybody is acting like they're surprised by this, that this is new. Sources familiar with Bethesda's plans tell me the company has been targeting an April 2025 release for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on PS5, but this date could naturally shift depending on development schedules. The Indiana Jones and the Great Circle release on PS5 is part of a new multi-platform approach for certain Xbox games, known internally as Project Latitude. Let me rephrase that. Known internally as Project Latitude. They're taking it on a case-by-case basis. Why? Because some games make sense. Indiana Jones makes sense. It was already, before they purchased Bethesda, it was already being developed for multiple platforms. We covered this in the last video. It just makes sense. Bethesda's new Doom, the Dark Ages game, is also coming to PS5 in 2025, and Microsoft has already launched previous Xbox exclusive titles like Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded. 4 games. That number 4 is going to be important as we continue on here. 4 games have already come to PS5. So let's first address. So that's just the fact. That's the reality. It was a rumor. We talked about it before. Now it's reality. That's the details that we know when it comes to Indiana Jones. So now let's talk about the fact. Well, wait a minute. I'm seeing all of these guys on X talking about, hey, Phil Spencer said no. Indiana Jones would not be going exclusive. Blah blah. That's not what he said. Even Tom Warren points this out. Ryan McCaffrey's pointed this out. Lots of people have pointed this out, but it doesn't seem to be breaking through. So we're going to go over and break through the noise right here. Is that what he said? Here is Destin Legary. Not to point names, but Destin Legary is one of the ones that is just goes with the flow of the wind. It's like they stick their finger in the X wind and see where it's going, and then they go along with it instead of just apply logic. Is that actually what he says? Go check yourself. It's not Indiana Jones or Starfield, was the quote. Phil Spencer on Xbox games going to PS5 February 2024. This got community noted. And there's a YouTube link where you can go watch the video itself. Context needed. That statement from Phil Spencer, and this is what everybody said, like Tom Warren pointed this out as well over on Twitter or X. The statement from Phil Spencer was in regards to 4 specific titles going to PS5. The question was, what 4 titles are going to PS5? It's not Indiana Jones or Starfield, was Phil Spencer's answer. That's not misleading. He's answering the question. And we went over it back here. That's why this got community noted. We went over it back here. Here are the 4 titles. Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded. Those were the 4 titles that all went. Now, people chose to not listen, chose to not pay attention to the statement, not pay attention to the question. It just seems that, that's human nature. I'm not going to blame anyone for that. But someone like this guy, a journalist right here, he should be a little bit more. Granted, we all make these mistakes. I'm not saying that he's infallible. Clearly, he is fallible, as am I. But this is what I've realized as I've done this more and more. The so-called experts, the so-called people covering the news, they miss a lot, and they're not as expert as you would think. They're just not paying attention, it seems, or it's willful ignorance. I don't know. But there's the contents. That's community notes. You can click on this YouTube link, go look this up, and you can see the question. You can see the answer. It's all there. We're not going to do that on this show. What makes me laugh is this got community note left, and that is totally this like. Anyways, I could go off on that for a minute. Like, I am a journalist. How dare this get community noted? Yeah, it got. Let's see what the response. Yeah, mischaracterization, but you're clickbaiting. Exactly. Like, Phil Spencer was asked if Indy or Starfield were part of the 4 games. He said no. Yeah, I'm sure that's what everyone thought in February. That's the question. It doesn't matter what you thought. What you thought is your problem. What everyone thought is their problem. It's what was the question and what was the answer that matter. And that is what the question was and what the answer that mattered. Now, if you in your mind, in your perception, in your goggles, in your eyeball goggles, your biases, read that as something else and you go back and you see that that's wrong, you're the one that's wrong. Now, could Phil Spencer have used clearer language? Maybe, and made it more clear, but you're only answering, as someone who has been in this position before, you're just answering the questions that are in front of you from the interviews. So that's that. So let's go over. Okay, is this bad? So that's first critique. Phil Spencer did not lie. Let's take that right off the table right now because there's a lot of posts out there like this has eroded my trust. I don't know why. If you've been paying attention, this is the future. Like this Game Pass changes everything. So why would Indiana Jones being only a timed exclusive make sense? How does this help Game Pass? I'm crazy, you're saying. Well, I'm not crazy. Here is why. It boosts Game Pass value. So offering exclusive high-profile titles like Indiana Jones enhances the value proposition of Game Pass, attracting for more subscribers. But it's only timed, you say. It doesn't matter. That timed period between now and April 2025, when it drops on PlayStation 5, you have some PlayStation 5 fans looking that may want to play Indiana Jones say, well, I want to play it right now. There's a FOMO effect there that happens. And you say, well, that's not going to work. Well, it worked for PlayStation. That's all I'm saying. PlayStation is sold the consoles of the PlayStation 5, and a big part of their strategy over the last 2 generations has been timed exclusive content and paying to keep content off of Xbox, at least at first, even if it eventually comes to Xbox. That's it. Now, once again, like I said, on Game Pass, this flips the script because once that game leaves Game Pass, and it doesn't leave Game Pass, it's still on Game Pass, but once that timed exclusivity is up and now it is on all platforms, guess what? The value proposition for Game Pass doesn't go away. It's still there. Whereas on a console, that value proposition does go away. It's no longer time exclusive. Okay, I don't need to go get the hardware. I can play it right now. I'll wait the 6 months and play it here. Well, okay, if you're on PlayStation 5, you can wait the 6 months and then pay $70 to play it. Or you could just pay the $20 to not just play it, but also get access to an entire library of games. Do you see how it's flipped the script? That's it. Game Pass is a value proposition that is flipping how we're marketing Xbox, how we're marketing the ecosystem. Xbox hardware is not going away. Console sales are not going away. It boosts Game Pass value. Timed exclusive boosts Game Pass value. That's it from an Indiana Jones in this case specifically. Number 2, you're not going to like this. Those of you who are against this does drive console sales. Timed exclusivity creates urgency for gamers to buy an Xbox to play the game first, which can lead to increased hardware sales. That's just a fact, particularly at Christmas time. What do you think is going to be marketed this Christmas? Just that. Now, granted, Xbox basically is saying consoles are not the focus. Game Pass is the focus, right? Rightfully so. You can see where technology is at, that is the future, being able to have that everywhere and even being the ability to stream your games via the cloud to basically any device for sure. But they're not jumping out of the console games, and console games help solidify fans into your ecosystem. We're going to have a next generation console. So those aren't going away anytime soon. And so it does drive console sales once again. And you might be saying, well, no, it doesn't. Once again, it worked for PlayStation. If it worked for PlayStation, this is a logic that I can't get around. If it worked for PlayStation, why would it not work for Xbox? Especially, like I just went over, Game Pass. That value doesn't go away in the time exclusive end. So it is gonna drive console sales. That's just reality. Reason number 3, this timed exclusive works with Indiana Jones is it expands audience reach. After the exclusivity period, releasing on PS5, for instance, we're just using PS5 as the example because it may be going everywhere else, but releasing on PS5 taps into a broader audience, generating additional revenue while initially bolstering Xbox's ecosystem. So, once again, this is more powerful because it is a first-party title. It is Game Pass. It expands audience reach. It gets players to experience Indiana Jones over on the PS5. Say, hey, I really like this game. Maybe a next Indiana Jones comes out in a few years, a sequel. And those players who really enjoyed that game at that point then decide, like, you know what? I am going to get Game Pass. Man, the value is just there. Here's the thing. Even if they don't and they just buy it, it's still generating additional revenue. That's it. So you're not losing out. This is a win-win for not just Xbox, but for gamers overall. You really have true options. Now, one option is more convenient. One option has a higher value proposition, and that is the option to just subscribe to Game Pass. And that's the sales point. That's it. So expands audience reach is number 3. Let's go. We got boost Game Pass value, drive console sales, expand audience reach. 3. I got 2 more. It strengthens brand loyalty by providing clear access to top-tier games. Xbox fosters stronger loyalty among its existing player base, making Game Pass more indispensable. Because I'm not. Are you unsubscribing from Game Pass? What's funny is all these Twitter things. I can't trust Phil Spencer. Some people were like, I'm out. That's it. I'm out. No, you're not. Have you unsubscribed from Game Pass? No, they haven't. Also, the Twitter sphere does not represent your average gamer. Your average gamer, you think your average gamer is like, I'm not. That's it. It's timed exclusive. I'm subscribing for Game Pass, and I'm going to go pay $70 over on PlayStation to play this. No, you're not. That's just the reality. No, you're not. And all the people out there complaining, you're not going anywhere because Game Pass value is undeniable, and this just strengthens that. Not only that, it does strengthen brand loyalty. We went over to the complaint. The counter to this might be, well, it erodes trust. How? Phil Spencer did not lie. Explain to me how it erodes trust. Explain to me how bringing a top-tier game as a timed exclusive first to Game Pass affects you in any way with your trust level. It doesn't. It does strengthen brand loyalty. And last but not least, that's number 4. Last but not least, my last point here is industry leadership. This move positions Xbox as an industry leader. The industry is changing. That's it. There was a comment in my Discord, which I thought was a pretty decent comment and discussion that's happening over there. Again, come over and join the discussion on Discord, filled with really wonderful people with diverse viewpoints and some good discussions happen over there. And the point was made. The point was made or put forward that they feel like this was just an excuse for the industry changing as an excuse by Phil Spencer, and I don't think it's an excuse at all. It's literally, PlayStation has said, or Sony has said the same thing in their earnings call. What's his face from Steam has said the same thing. The CEO of Steam and Valve has said the same thing. Gabe Newell. The industry is shifting. The industry is changing, and this move positions Xbox as a leader in delivering must-play titles, reinforcing its competitive edge with Game Pass in an evolving gaming market. That's it. They are leading the way. This makes sense strategically. This makes sense from a business standpoint. This makes sense from a standpoint of growing the Xbox ecosystem. It just does. That's my thoughts on this. And I'm sure some of you will absolutely agree with me. If you do, and you have friends who are in this, like, that's it, I'm just mad, share this video with them. Let them know. If you disagree with me, let me know why. What did I get wrong here? Where am I wrong? What am I incorrect on? Let me know in the comments below. Again, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We do videos like this all the time right here. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.